My first ever YouTube camera was the Panasonic Lumix G7. I still have it to this day, and since then I now own 7 cameras, including this one. So probably you can tell I really like cameras at this point. Let's run some numbers on this one. You won't like the piece count against the price, I can tell you that. It has a hefty Disney tag on it, so if you're looking at the price to piece ratio, forget about it. It's not the greatest. However, if you enjoy in any capacity whatever Disney has been doing for the last many years and what Walt Disney created in the first place, then this set is probably already on your shelf. The question is, how does this camera fit my studio? Let's find out. I'm gonna say right away, this thing is certified gorgeous. It's just pretty. No matter how you look at it, for a camera nerd like me, this is in fact a dream come true set. On the box you will of course see the included elements, the clapper board, all the functions, not many, just like the opening for Mr. Disney inside the camera, and the dimension of the camera, which makes it a very accommodating set for most shelves. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's just perfect, so you don't need to really scramble and get rid of your UCS Star Warses to get this thing on display. In a pretty manual you will find several notable pages. A bit of history of Walt Disney innovation and imagination, all the features of the set lined up in those film frames, breakdown of every single Disney film shown on that film strip included with the camera, and a word from designers working on this set, Camilla Thorsten Kordig and Wes Talbot. The set does come with a clapper board that also has spot for every single super cool minifigure included. First ever Walt Disney minifigure. If you are looking for a good reason to get this set, apart from the camera being beautiful, that is probably the answer. He comes with 2 face expressions, a simple hair mold, a simple print for his suit from the 1930s, a pen, and a printed tile with the steamboat Willie Mickey, so everything you could ask for from a unique character like him. Mickey and Minnie are here, but they're not the most exciting characters. If you have a Steamboat Willie set from the past, which I think they're actually remaking in a form of Get with Purchase very soon, you already have these minifigures, and they came out in different forms and fashions too. So nothing too crazy. Mickey has printed pants and Minnie has a printed skirt. But what's the most exciting about this set in terms of minifigures is, of course, Dumbo and Bambi for the first time. Dumbo is awesome. I mean, the design is very intricate. You can see the kind of assembly process or dual molding involved here. He gets an opening in his nose for maybe a feather that's not included in the set, sadly enough. Enormous ears, obviously, and the iconic hat. You couldn't ask for more. I mean, if anything, he reminds me of the quality of the Doug the dog from the Upset as far as uniqueness goes. So Lego continues to make these characters in this beautiful fashion, and fans of Disney who are looking for this guy as a reason to get this set also will be very happy. He is a fantastic depiction of Dumbo. Couldn't be happier how the quality of the mold turned out. And Bambi, also for the first time. I mean, look at that print. The cute little guy could not have been done any better. He kind of covers about 4 studs. In I think 3 studs actually, I have to double check, but covers several studs to be placed on your base plate. And it's a single mold. You can see, of course, the printing done here. There's maybe some dual molding involved here, but he's just great looking overall. And there's even some detail for his little cutesy-wootsy hair. I love that. So both of these really make a special thing for this set. I couldn't see how they could have been done better. You know, if Lego added them in somewhat of a Disney Collectibles collection, that might have been even better thing to have, but another amazing reason to get this set. But let's get to that clapperboard for a sec. And it is quite interesting, not only it's a actual working clapperboard, take one, but also it's a minifigure size multi-plane camera that Walt Disney used in the movie The Old Mill from 1937 to create this kind of 3D multi-plane effect. So basically you have 3 printed windows with actual prints, transparent windows for prints, showing the first, the second, and the third plane of a movie. So you have this 3-dimensional effect. If you zoom in, that's the effect that was used in the actual movie, and showing the house in the distance, the road leading to it, and the first plane, how we enter the road from a higher hill. So it's really depicted well, really cool. This is actually mentioned in the manual that this is minifigure sized, so that's actually how Walt Disney was kind of next to the camera when he was using the device. So you can see how big it was. Also, I mean, that the whole structure, right? But the camera was the thing at the top, basically. And also you can see some of the, like, I think that's a light reflector here. So basically they try to recreate how Walt Disney used it in the past and how innovative it was. So really cool piece of history here and really cool addition to the whole camera, which just adds value to the set. The build process involves some technique, but it's only for the structure. There is no real function in terms of movement of Technic pieces. So even if you see a gear for the tripod's head, it doesn't move. If you see the elements for the tripod connections, they don't move. You cannot collapse the tripod. There is some movement here, like if you grab the tripod legs, you can see that that's how you're supposed to collapse the tripod. You just grab this thing and it collapses. It kind of also secures the separation of the legs, but there's no such thing here. So I would be cool if I was able to like pick up the set and, you know, get the tripod folding like that, but it doesn't work that way. So it's only for the views, for the looks, if you will. Not too disappointed by this, but using so much technique, they could have maybe added some joints here to collapse the tripod's legs, but that might also hinder, you know, the camera's integrity or the structure, rigidness of the camera. They didn't want to do that. They wanted this to be a display set first and foremost. One more thing about the tripod legs, I like that wooden pattern here. So it shows the age maybe of the tripod legs. Apparently, you know, in fact, it's a camera from the 1930s. So old wood being used here. The pattern is the same on every single leg, so it doesn't differ. You just build 3 times. And that's it. It would be cooler if it was a little bit differentiated, as you know, the pattern of the wood is not always the same, but still it adds this nice vintage look. The film, it is awesome in a way that all these movies portrayed. I'm not gonna name every single one of them. It's for you to find out, or you can pause on that manual shot from before. I like the content of it. However, I do not like the material. It is, gonna try to get some reflections on this. It is this foil that looks better on the box, looks better in the manual. It doesn't retain its shape, this kind of like more puffy shape like it does on the box. I wish it did, because it sags a little, you know. So once you connect it to the camera, it really wants to fall down. So there is it's not very swirly as on the box. So it's kind of misleading. To make it better, you can kind of put it like here on one of those tripod tensioners. By the way, very cool piece here in front of that key. So you can place it that way and it kind of looks cooler. Try to get the camera a little bit away from my camera to show you. Does it look better now? It kind of does better. Like that curve here might be more interesting here, because on the box it kind of looks like this, like so. Here it just sags a little bit more. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Maybe your piece is more tense, is more kind of stiff. Mine is not. You can see it's kind of bending very easily. So in that regard, not liking the material used, could have been a little stiffer, but I really like how they portrayed all of this. It's very unique. It comes with a separate box, so it doesn't come damaged or anything. It's like a cape for a minifigure packed separately. But I mean, look at all these shots from all these movies. Beautiful. For all you Disney fans, I'm happy that you have it, but from just the piece quality standpoint, it could have been a little bit better. It's kind of, you're almost asking for this to have some movement pieces. I would love for the head to rotate. I would love for it to kind of tilt and pan. It doesn't. It's all Technic connected, so it maybe looks like so, but it doesn't. Also, there are some things I didn't like about this piece. For example, there's only one connection stud on this element, so it kind of rotates if you're not careful. So just to show you how it works. But yeah, it's almost asking to just move it around and play and film a Disney movie, right? It's not. It's a fixed angle, so there is nothing here to really do. You can see how crazy that Technic gets. It's all pins and angles, and it's all solid connected, so there is no real jointing here or anything like it. But still, there are some functions that are actually moving. The matte box, you can slide it up and down. Lenses for the camera, you can select which one you're going to film with, which focal length. However, if you look closely, the matte box only works with the longest lens, the highest focal length, the biggest one. Because like if you go to the lower one, it kind of doesn't do the clearance. No, it just hits the larger one anyway. So in that regard, you gotta use the longest lens to make it look a little bit realistic. But I gotta say, I really like the build for that matte box. Very clever technique here, super simple, but it just looks good. You can see right inside the lens. it was fun. It was one of those fun pieces in the build. There are several great building techniques here, but this one was one of the notable ones for sure. Check out the sound. The crank is actually working. Hold on, I'm gonna get the microphone closer so you can actually hear it. I mean, how cool is that, right? So very cool. The way it works is very simple actually. So we're gonna go to the other side of the set. There's the viewfinder. So the viewfinder kind of looks like this, but it doesn't serve any function obviously. You can rotate it just like so, and if you do, I'm gonna try to get some light in there for you. That's the Walt Disney's, well, workspace or office or whatever. There's a small lamp. Right there, there's the working desk, a tilting working desk where you can put the Mickey Steamboat Willie print he's working on. The desk is actually a very fun build. It uses some of the simplest elements, but really good result of that. So kind of like Walt Disney is sitting facing the actual lens, which would be on that side of the camera. And so he's actually working on a movie. That's cool. And you can see the crank mechanism. So I'm gonna try to see if I can, there we go. So the cool part is that it makes this nice clicky sound, very simple, but it self-locks. So you cannot do it to the other way. You cannot rotate to the other direction. So only goes one way, just like in the real camera. You cannot backtrack the film or gonna ruin it, right? I mean, how cool is that, right? So it's kind of like the same way they did the big Lego figure model, where there's a minifigure piloting it. So we can have like Walt Disney actually piloting the camera. And to just finalize things up, I really like what they did with the 100 Years of Disney logo. So the whole assembly at the top portrays, well, the 100 Years of Disney logo. It also portrays the film reel on top of the camera. And if you look closely, it portrays Mickey's ears, obviously. And the number 1 is nicely connected to the back. I really like how this assembly turned out. Also, not sure if you have noticed, but it's using a tile that I don't think I ever seen before. So let me know where this tile came out. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like a dual curve, dual side tile that gets that number 1 shaping so well. And that's a wrap for this review. I mean, look at how cool this looks on that clapperboard. It is a fun set. I mean, there's so much good to say about it. For somebody like me with a YouTube studio and just making videos about Lego, this is like a dream come true. It combines both of my passions and both of my hobbies. It looks great. It doesn't have any movement. That's fine, I guess. I mean, I'm just gonna put it on my shelf and probably just admire it from afar. The price represents the Disney tax quite well as well. So you have to kind of think on that. You gotta be a fan of Disney or at least like cameras to truly appreciate the set. I won't regret how much I paid for it. I don't think the value is bad whatsoever. You get absolute fantastic collection of minifigures with all like at least 3 exclusive. I gotta check if Mickey and Minnie are exclusive actually to this. But Walt, Dumbo and Bambi, of course, never seen before in Lego Disney. Also custom printed window tiles, window glass for that multi-plane camera. That's unique in its own way. Unique. Never before seen film with printed elements. Wonder if they're gonna ever use that piece again. I don't think that's gonna ever happen again. It's just so unique that I don't see, just unless Lego does a camera again, which again is the first camera that they ever actually made in that fashion. There was this kind of weird Leica M camera where Leica and Lego collaborated, and I think Leica sold a camera model by Chris McVeigh in a Miami store, but that was unofficial, so you had to get instructions in a PDF from Chris McVeigh before he became a designer. But this is the first official camera set, so super happy about this. Right on. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching. I truly am a big fan of this set. I'm gonna put it on the shelf right now, see how it looks, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, hit the like, subscribe, you know how this works, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.